Thank you for attending this session. Today I am going to talk about percentile and quartile. I will go through some basic definitions and then we exercise some Excel functions. We all have heard median. For example, if I have 10, 12, 15, 16, and 25, 15 is median. 50% of observations, or indeed 50% of other observations, are on one side and 50% on the other side. But a more precise definition of median is at least 50% of observations are less than or equal to median, and at least 50% of observations are greater than or equal to median. For example, in these data, we see that at least 50% of observations are less than or equal to 15. Indeed, 3 out of 10 is 60%, but at least 50% is correct. So at least 50% of observations are less than or equal to 15, and at least 50% of observations are greater than or equal to 15. In this situation, 3 out of 5 observations are less than or equal to 15, and also 3 out of 5 observations are greater than or equal to 15. So the terms that at least 50% are less than or equal and at least 50% are greater than or equal is correct for this situation, and that is the general definition of median. If we compute 60 percentile of these data, that means at least 60% of data is less than or equal to 80, for example, here. And at least 40% of data is greater than or equal to 80. That is the definition of percentile. When we say 75 percentile, that means at least 75% of data are less than or equal to what we have, and at least 25% of data are greater than or equal to what we have as 75 percentile. Percentile is defined for 1 percentile, 2 percentile, 99 percentile. If percentile is 25, we call it first quartile. If it is 50 percentile, which is median 2, we call it second quartile. If it is 75 percentile, we call it third quartile. Then we have percentile excluded and percentile included. You always use percentile excluded unless I ask to compute percentile included. Percentile included is computed for everything from 0 percentile to 100 percentile. But it is not 100% correct based on the definition that we had, and that is why we usually use percentile excluded. For example, when we talk about 100 percentile, that means 100% of data is less than or equal to this number, and 0% of data is greater than or equal to this number. But we know that it is not 0% because one of these data is equal to that number. So if this definition of less than or equal to 60%, less than or equal to 80%, less than or equal to 100% is correct, then we cannot say 100% of data is less than or equal to this number, and 0% of data is greater than or equal to this number, because it cannot be 0% of data which is greater than or equal to that number. Therefore, in percentile excluded, 100 percentile is not defined. The same is for 0 percentile. Based on this definition, what is the definition of 0 percentile? Suppose 0 percentile is equal to 10. What does it mean? 100% of data is greater than or equal to this number, and 0% of data is less than or equal to this number. It cannot be correct because this number exists over there, and 0% of data cannot be this number or less than that because this number is over there. So 0% doesn't have any meaning. So in excluded, 0 percentile and 100 percentiles have no meaning. But in included, they use a different formula and it has some meaning. We really don't go through the details of the differences. We generally accept both of these are fine. In the test, in the quizzes, I may state that use excluded or use included. And the difference is this one, these three letters are different over there. First quartile is 25%, second quartile is 50 percentile, and third quartile is 75 percentile, and fourth quartile is 100 percentile. For the same reason that I stated in excluded version, 100 percentile and 0 percentile does not exist. For the same reason, 0 quartile and fourth quartile do not exist in excluded, but they exist in included. Percentile also exists. I mean, if you go to data analysis toolpack, you see percentile over there and you see rank also over there. But as I have explained throughout this course, what we want in this course to make sure is you are using Excel functions, you are using Excel formulas, you become strong in developing Excel models, and that is why I have restricted the software used in this course to Excel. If I can improve your knowledge in Excel, I will be very fine. And then you can learn R, you can learn Python, you can learn Tableau, Power BI, and whatever software that you like in other courses. What I want to do in this course is make sure you know Excel functions, you know Excel formulas, and you can improve your skills to develop spreadsheet models. That is the main purpose of this course, and that is why I have focused on Excel, and I have focused only on Excel. Now suppose we have these data, and as I have mentioned many times, usually I have one column of variable data. Here is the red one, and one column of fixed data. Here I use the fixed data because I do not want you to be confused when I am explaining it, because you expect some number, some other numbers come out. But always when you solve one problem, you can copy this data and paste it over there and use random numbers instead of fixed numbers. Or if you want a fixed number, you can copy it and paste it by value over there. Then they will become fixed, but they form a new problem. So suppose I want to compute 100 percentile, 90 percentile, 80 percentile, 75 percentile, and so on and so forth. what I will do, I go here and I type equal to percentile excluded for this one, and then it will ask me what is your array here. Shift Control down and I lock it, comma 100 percentile, enter. It tells me I am not defined. First, let me copy this down. So it will find for all of these numbers, but over there it will tell me I am not defined here and I am not defined over there too. So what I will do first, I go here and type if error, parenthesis open, comma, put blank, don't put that something. So now it is blank, and then I copy it down, fine, and then fine, and that one becomes black, nicer. Suppose I like this format, I go here, format painter, now it has that format. This was a nice trick. Now I come here and I type equal to percentile and then percentile included. Over there I had excluded, type here included. And then it asks me for the array here. Control Shift down F4 for lock, and then this one. 100 percentile, 90 percentile, 80 percentile, 75 percentile, 70, 60, 50 percentile or median, and so on and so forth. All I need, I come here again, format painter, I bring it here. Here quartile equal to quartile. Again, quartile excluded or included? Quartile excluded here. Where is your data? My data is here. And lock it, comma, fourth quartile. Fourth quartile means 100% of the observations are less than or equal to this one, and 0% is greater than or equal. 0% greater than or equal to this number does not have a meaning because this number is also there. How could 0% be greater than or equal to this number? Because the number is also there. So here it is not defined. Down, copy this down, copy this down. Here, of course, I have not typed anything, so they are not defined. If error, put a blank over there, nothing, quotation mark, and then copy it down. So these numbers are over there. I'll take these numbers, format painter, and I format it. I come here and type equal to quartile, but quartile included. And I again put these numbers over there, F4, comma, and this one. For included, it is defined. And then I copy it down. And this one again is written as 0, 0. All of them are 0. Delete this. And delete this. Go over there. Format painter. And bring it here. And now and then we have something called interquartile, and that is the difference between first quartile and third quartile. So it is equal to, this is third quartile minus first quartile, but this one also, this is interquartile. Thank you very much for paying attention to this lecture.